Alright folks, I'm at it again. I have improved the glue bottle solution to the point where I can say that it is pretty much perfected. And I'm going to discuss that today and talk about what I did to improve this system that I have. Now, I did a couple videos a while back showing this product and talking about the advantages. To summarize, I found that these small 2-ounce Boston Round plastic bottles were very efficient at applying glue for a number of reasons. The biggest reason is that you get more control with this small bottle, so I can apply a very fine bead or a larger bead, and the small size makes it more versatile, so I can fit it into tighter spaces, and it also requires less effort to apply the glue with a smaller bottle. So I've been using this for the past several months, and overall I'm still really happy with it, but I did encounter a couple of drawbacks that I want to talk about today and how I went about solving those problems. So one of the problems that I had with these round bottles is that they're round and they tend to roll off the workbench, and that makes it inefficient because I have to bend over a lot and pick these up. So I solved that problem in a very simple way. I have this block of scrap wood with a V-groove cut in it. I did that on the table saw. And these are actually clamping blocks for clamping miter joints. So I just had these around. But I found if I just put the bottle in that V-groove, then that's all I need to prevent the bottle from rolling around. So that was a simple fix, but it didn't solve the biggest problem I had with these little bottles, which is that the glue would harden in that tip relatively quickly, and every time I would use it and put it down for a while, I would have to clear out this passageway. And I was using this nail punch before, and I even made a little hole for it in my glue caddy so that I could find it easily. But then I discovered these nail-on plastic glides, and so I found that these actually make very good tips for securing these glue bottles and keeping that passageway clear at the same time. So I no longer need the nail punch. I can just use these as the tip to replace these little red things that get lost. And I'm actually selling these in small quantities of 24 and 72, so you can buy these on my eBay page. And I'm also going to include 2 of these nail-on glides with every kit now. However, they do rust up relatively quickly. This one I've been using for like 6 months, and they do tarnish, but the rust does not cause a problem. It just kind of makes some discoloration in the glue. So they still work okay, even though if these were stainless steel, it'd probably be better for this application. So that's my glue kit. I haven't changed anything. I'm just adding a couple of nail-on glides for substitute tips. But this didn't prevent the biggest problem I was having with these glue bottles, and that is that in production, the glue would flash over on the tip relatively quickly, especially if I have any airflow in the environment, like a fan or the heat is on. It only takes about a minute for the glue on the surface to flash over, and then I can't get it out. So I have to pick it off or poke it to clear out that passageway. And I kept doing that over and over again, and maybe after the 100th time I was like, hey, maybe there's got to be a way to improve this to prevent that glue from hardening. And I made a discovery. I'm going to just do a quick video now showing how I improved this product. And now This is my turntable here, so I keep all my glue on this rotating turntable that is elevated above the workbench. And all I did here was take a cap to a spray can. This is just any kind of spray can will do. And all I did was I stuffed a wet rag in there. And as long as that rag is moist, the glue will not harden on the tip. And so I've had this just like this for maybe 36 hours now. I've been putting frames together off and on, and it's still flowing just as good as when I started. And so this solved that problem. It's a very simple solution. It takes about 10 minutes, and the only tool that you need is the table saw to make that V-joint, and then a hole saw. And the size I used is 2 3/4, which matches pretty close to the diameter of the cap. So, fairly simple project, but it solves a really big problem, and it will increase the efficiency of my glue ups. So, combining the turntable with the glue system is really the way to go. It consolidates all of this glue mess above the workbench, so I don't have to have any mess on my workbench or extra tools, so that speeds up my production. And yeah, so now my glue bottles will never flash over, and I can do all of my gluing in production in a continuous operation without interruption, and that has improved my glue efficiency. So the glue bottle solution has now been perfected, and I no longer have any need for a traditional glue bottle.